That's nice.
Yeah, but it's just, I think, you know, having sometimes, like you said, they could go in and see the program and be like, you know what? I've seen and met a number of officers, had a chance to look behind the curtain, so to speak, and I don't like it, but here again, here's a case of a kid who saw what they liked.
Yep. You know, it's great to be able to impart some knowledge on them. Yeah. Whether that knowledge then will lead to them going to college and becoming, taking criminal justice courses and maybe becoming a police officer. But as we try to tell them, even some of the basic courses you'll take in college in criminal justice, constitutional rights and things like that, those are things that can help them, if that's the word I want to use, or you know, impart information on them for down the road. It might justify them wanting to become an attorney.
It's all knowledge.
Yep.
I want to ask you, again, these kids don't just show up.
No.
You're through the program. You do some considerable legwork to try to obviously get the word out and let young people know we've got a program in place. If this sounds like something you want to do, this is the program. How do you go about? And I want to mention Tim Lukoski, who's Boston International High School. Tim Lukoski, if anyone's watching, they know Tim Lukoski. He's done a phenomenal job. He's a guidance counselor at Boston International High School. But you go around to the various local high schools and say, here's the program. You sit down and talk to guidance counselors, and then you say, hey, if you have kids who are interested, please, here's an application. Have them call me. And although the feedback has been good, Timmy has been particularly good.
Tim's been great. I think this past year I went to the most schools ever. I think I hit 22 or 23 high schools. And those are both Boston public schools and there are parochial schools in the city and outside.
Right. What's your
some
pitch?
of the, you know, you go in, I asked to speak to the guidance counselor or someone in the guidance department. I explained to them, Tim Lukoski jumped on it big time. Yeah. Some of the other guidance counselors, they took the information. Some schools have been very good. Others haven't been. They just haven't responded, whether it, and I'm not saying it's not the guidance counselor doing his or her job.
Could be interest.
Kids, the interest. I mean, Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock is a tough time, but we pick Saturday mornings at 9 so that we don't interfere with after-school activities, homework, things like that. Although this may change next year, there's some thought to making this more of an after-school, early evening program. I'm not sure, and especially after talking to some of this year's participants, if that's the way to go, but the powers to be will make that decision. But Tim's great. He really stepped up to the plate, so to speak. Yeah. And he had one kid, Max Rutiski, who just came here from Ukraine.
Feel free to roll the video, the graduation again, because I think we have a picture of Max. But his story is pretty impressive. Max went to Boston International High School, and there's my man Juan Carlos. He is hands down the man. But Max, tell Max's story.
Max came to the United States about 3 to 6 months ago, and ironically enough, when I gave him a ride home one night, he mentioned how he graduated from high school in the Ukraine. Yeah. And I said, well, what year are you in at Boston International? He goes, oh, I'm a junior. But they're trying to get his records so that he may not have to go back for his senior year because he graduated from the Ukraine. Right. And he's now exploring colleges. But, you know, I wish I had a tape recorder in the car, because what Max said was that people in this country don't realize all the opportunities they have. He goes, me, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, I'm in my country, taking classes. Here, you're driving me home. Right. I go to police headquarters and I go to all these programs and they're all free. Yeah. And it was so simple. I went home that night and I was mentioning it to my wife. I said, you know, we take so many things for granted. Here's a kid from the Ukraine, and he was wonderful, and his grandmother showed up that night and she was so proud of him.
It was great. He was telling the story. He said, I get off plane, I see a trooper, and I say, I want to be you. And that was it. That was it, the inspiration.
But hopefully a Boston officer, not a trooper.
Right, right. Boston, way to go. Real quick, kids who are interested in the program, you get another thing happening in the fall.
Yeah, we hope to start. You can call me at 617-343-5088. Reach out to Officer Keneally in Media Relations. We hope to do it again in the fall. Usually based on the past couple of years, when we start late October, early November, and we'll go to May, depending on the number of youngsters that are involved. We'll We may have 1 or 2 sessions,
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve. I got to tell you, we've never turned away a kid.
Okay.
We've actually taken some kids in from the suburbs who's
Yep.
expressed an interest, but we never turned away a city kid at their expense.
Explorer program, close to 80 kids into the program, high school kids interested in law enforcement. It's great.
Yep.
It's that simple. Michael
Well,
O'Connor, Sergeant O'Connor.
You're
Last
a
word?
You're a main part of it. Don't forget
I'm a
that.
small piece of it.
No, you
All right,
can relate
folks,
to the
thank you so
youngsters.
much for watching Call the Cops. We'll see you next time. Until then, please be safe and have a great week, everybody. Good night. Thanks again for watching.